What's something about your boyfriend, girlfriend that you didn't know until too late in the relationship? Has 4 other children living with their fathers. Didn't find out until after we had our son. Dude. I'm sorry. That's her 2-step process. I was living with my ex before finding out he had a son who he said his ex had been keeping him from. I dated a girl for 2 years once. I tried to teach her how to surf one time. She refused to get into the water. She said she would prefer to just watch me. I took her to a water park, and she refused to do any of the slides or anything because they were dirty. Once, at the end of the summer, I took her skinny dipping, and she just got naked and dangled her feet off the dock into the water. Then it struck me. She got really embarrassed and admitted that she did not know how to swim. My girlfriend sleeps with her eyes open. First time I slept over and it happened, I was literally talking to her quietly and she was asleep. I wondered what I had said or done to make her go all zombie-like. Really creeped me out. The next day I talked to her about it and she admitted it happens sometimes. It happens all the time. She goes to sleep with her eyes closed, but over a couple of minutes they slowly open up. Freaky as but eventually I got over it and married her. We have 3 girls. 2 of them are normal but 1 sleeps with her eyes open. Arghhh. She doesn't have a place for anything. I mean, everyone keeps their aspirin in the medicine cabinet. She doesn't, she just puts it wherever she happens to use it. I once found a box of Twinkies in the bathroom. 15 years later she's a little better, but it's maddening. I always get pissed when women make fun of their husbands for having to ask them where something is because I do this all the damn time, but it isn't my fault. I'll call her to ask where the bread is. Oh. Check my bedside table. If I wasn't so in love with her I would have gutted her and hid the body by now. She didn't know about Hiroshima and the atomic bomb. She didn't even know that the US was at war with Japan during World War II. That she wanted kids. And that it's very important to her. You know how people say you shouldn't talk about kids too early in a relationship? Those people. If you're looking for a serious relationship, make sure you want the same thing before you start. There is no compromising on this. You can't have half a kid. That she was still carrying a torch for an old boyfriend. She left me with our 6-month-old daughter for the weekend when he showed up in their hometown for a visit. I trustingly encouraged her to relax and have fun with her friends. She f***ed him and then took our daughter and ran off with the guy to another province. She then told me that she wanted nothing to do with me, and that this guy was going to be my daughter's new father. That was 5 years ago. It took me over $15,000 to get my daughter back, and I'm still paying that off. When I returned home with my daughter, it wasn't long before my ex and her new boyfriend followed. She and he crashed at her mother's place, but her family liked me and couldn't stand him, so he was soon asked to leave. He went back to the province that they ran off to. We played trade the baby for a few months until we decided to try and reconcile our differences and get back together. After a few months of this, she told me that she couldn't be with me and that she was leaving me to be with him. However, he wanted nothing to do with her when he found out that she was pregnant with our 2nd child. So, she stayed. We now have 3 beautiful children. Yes. They are all mine. No. I don't need paternity tests to be sure. We sleep in different rooms and it is years between sexual encounters of any kind. But I have my kids and I can raise them right. So I'm happy with what I have right now. While you shouldn't have had to spend $15,000 to do that, the day your daughter realizes that you did everything in your power to get her back will be worth every penny. I dated a girl once who waited a year to tell me that her other boyfriend was in prison for selling cocaine. Best part was that he knew about me and apparently had been under the impression that she would be waiting for him when he got out later that year. My ex told me a year and a half into our relationship that she didn't really think of physics as a science. She actually had no idea what it was. I'm a physics major. No joke, but one of my exes was racist towards Hispanics and I am Mexican American. She and her family thought I was Italian. Shit got so awkward after that. My girlfriend and I only discovered a month or so ago after dating approximately 4 years that neither of us ever directly addresses the other's parents, because we have no idea what to call them. This is a huge issue for me. I just talk to them. Never actually address them. I just wait until they happen to look at me before I talk. God damn. I just realized I do this. I've never called either of them by any name whatsoever. I just look, make eye contact, and speak. Or refer to them to my so as your mom or your dad. My ex had this whole story when we met about how she lived with these 3 roommates who she didn't get along with. so I asked if she wanted to move in with me. Fast forward a month when she's all moved in. I figured out she had a plenty of fish account and had been dudes behind my back for God knows how long. During the breakup fight, it came to the surface that the 3 roommates never existed. She had been living with her parents, whom she told the same story when she moved in with me. She was living with 3 roommates. So many lies uncovered in one day. I threw her ass out that very night. He was legally blind. He hid it really well. We lived on campus, so he never drove anywhere because he just didn't have a car. He always read really close to the screen or to the pages because he couldn't see. But I do the same thing and have fixable vision, so I didn't think anything of it. 8 months later, we get into a huge fight because I lost my glasses contacts and needed a ride, in my own car, to the eye doctor to get more. He refused up and down. And I was furious. I had to get a friend to drive me. It was kind of an emergency. Gotta go right now situation, and I was livid. Later that day he explained he couldn't see really at all and that it wasn't fixable. And that he's always been this way and that what I thought was his driver's license was just an ID card. And people always give him shit about not having a license or not being able to read far away, not realizing he was blind. I felt like an ass. In your defense, he could have told you that she actually doesn't have the same taste of music as I do. That was just to get to know me. My girlfriend swoops her hair over her left eye. I thought it was just an emo hairstyle until I found out she was blind in one eye. I have a friend who does this, but she straight up has no eye in her left socket. She throws one hell of a elbow strike, in her sleep. My wife doesn't close things, drawers, cabinets, doors, leaving a path of ajar chaos wherever she roams. Wife. She's a total slob. After 10 years it's starting to grind on our marriage. We have kids now and I am afraid of them getting sick, so I do the cleaning that I can despite my job where I get up 6 a.m. and get home 7 p.m. Her mother helps her take care of the kids nearly every day, but despite this she has no time to vacuum, clean up cat puke, waits till I come home, throw garbage bags in the garage, leaves it in the hall till I get home. She seems to push it a little further as time goes on. I am getting depressed and I don't know what to do because she totally cannot see how insane this is. I'm just an anal asshole clean freak. I did know this before, but it was manageable until the kids came. Sorry, don't get me started. Moral of the story, if something small bothers you, deal with it or run before it gets bigger. 6 years in, I learned he used to stalk me and peep in my windows for about a year before we started dating. My ex was going through a trial during her first summer of dating. I didn't understand why he wouldn't leave his house or why he had to be home at a certain time. I found out he was on house arrest for raping a girl in his hometown. I only dated him that summer. I said first just to be specific. I didn't find out until we broke up. I happened to get on his email account because it was all so strange for him not to leave or be home at a certain time. I found several emails to a friend talking about the trial. From what I read, it sounded like he paid her off and she dropped the case. I'm glad I didn't continue this because he started to verbally and physically abuse me. He changed his last name too. If you don't feed her within an appropriate amount of time, she becomes a completely different person that I fear and despise. Well, that's me. And my ex insisted that it was all in my head. A short timeline of almost every Friday or Saturday each week, 7 p.m. I go into the room where him and his BFF are playing video games. Are you guys hungry? No. But we will be. What do you want to eat? Don't know. 7:30 p.m. Hey, guys. I'm hungry. What do you want to order? We can get wings or pizza or Chinese or sandwiches. Don't know. We'll think about it. Do you want me to just make myself something? Nah. 8 p.m. Guys. I am really hungry. How about we get one of the above? Nah. We don't want that. 8:30 p.m. Yo. I'm starting to get a headache from not eating. This happens every week. Can we please order something now? Oh, sure. 9 p.m. I am hungry now. It will now be another 20 minutes at least before I get to eat. Either pick a place to order from before they close or I am just going to make myself something. Damn. Why are you being such a bitch? My grandmother just learned that my grandpa doesn't like raspberries. They've been married 50 years. That she not only sleep talks, but sleep giggles. It is always so creepy. Man, I think that sounds adorable. But I suppose it depends on the giggle. Hooey hooey. After 3 years of dating and about 2 to 3 months before I was planning on proposing, She tells me that she doesn't ever want to get married. She was too free-spirited to settle down with one person forever.